introduction theme. It's my podcast show. Running a bit late, but that's the way it goes. JTAKRAOSPZS1A, number zet-special 1. Sorry for the delay. Been busy, then sick. Too sick to speak with the snake voice I sort of need to do for the next couple podcasts. No worries though. I'll be up to that soon enough. Plus, I've dug up something else to look at. That's right, it's a Kamen Rider movie. I'm talking about the movie OOO Wonderful. Doesn't that name get your blood boiling? It sorta, but not really, takes place near the end of last year's Kamen Rider series, Kamen Rider OOO. The movie is long, feature length one might say, so I'll get to it quick as I can. But before the movie, I have to recap a bit about OOO, the series. It stars, of course, Kamen Rider OOO, a homeless man whose most defining trait is keeping a spare set of clean underwear on his person at all times. I assure you, if I was trying to be funny, I'd be funny, fair enough. Still, that's how it is. And for this trait, I call him Pajama Sam, the cleanest underwear-relevant name I could think of. Sam fights the evil, greed-driven Greed. That's greed with 3 E's and a silent S. The Greed are magic coin-formed monstrosities hell-bent on their evil plans to feel stuff. See, they lack human senses because they embody excessively spelled greed. It's a clever motivation, you see, to make them three-dimensional. Oh, hey, segue! The movie's in 3D, which has nothing to do with anything. Anyhow, using various combinations of the magic magic coins of power, Pajama Sam transforms into Kamen Rider OOO, established in the first episode to be a rider with more than infinite potential. You see, because of the 3-0 thing, it's like infinity times 0, which is like 20 times as good as nothing. Also, Pajama Sam becomes BFFs with one of the Greed. I call this one Mr. Handman because he won't shut his damn mouth. Also, coincidentally, he's a floating, talking glove. Of course, for most of the series, he just takes over the body of some guy who was in a coma to show off his fashion sense. And that's about enough to skate you through the movie, so let's get on with the show. The movie begins with a recap of the series, which, in hindsight, I could have used for the podcast. It starts to recap anyhow, then it gets tired of explaining things and moves on. So it really is exactly the kind of recap I would have used. Crap! Well, after that, somewhere in the free state of Thuringen, Germany, which, based on my voices in Sweden, an eccentric Japanese quintillionaire from the show is hunting for lost treasure. I'll call him Uncle Scrooge. Not so much for his attitude, as I've forgotten what else I called this guy, so Uncle Scrooge it is. He's supervising his crew's sporadic use of German as they excavate. Very important to keep them in line with that stuff, because they're in Germany, and they gotta make like the Romans do and speak German. Doing so, the Japanese crew lifts up an ancient sewer plate from the ground, causing coins to gush out like, say, a fanboy's savings in front of a Kamen Rider figurine. The flood of coins predictably leads to a gigantic cylindrical patch of ground raising up and flipping over. But no one falls to the earth or anything. It's actually a really unclear shot, but the short of it seems to be that they flip through a wormhole so as to take the place of another cylindrical patch of ground in Japan, or what one might think is Japan anyhow. I'm sure it's a well-known place, but there's no narrative text to tell me where it is, so I'll assume it's Thuringen Boogaloo, which is luckily right by our heroes, Pajama Sam and Mr. Handman, which is good, because they can't really afford air transport, so they'd be really screwed if the whole movie happened somewhere else. They're on the scene though, and those flying coins that were gushing out earlier are now forming Maleficent's castle? Maleficent, the witch from Sleeping Beauty. Wait, you might be a young person. It's the castle from Sleeping Beauty 2, she's sleepwalking again. More of those flying coins pop out of the castle to pull in Uncle Scrooge and his secretary. Then the Knights Who Say Knee come out to kill the rest of his crew off screen. Well, that's brutal. Pajama Sam changes into his Kamen Rider form, and apparently the other rider from the show, which I forgot to mention, is also there. His thing is he's Iron Man, but less rich and actually does things that would make him money. The two riders kick the crap out of the knights, but then a woman with a shard mask and a poofy orange dress pops up. She's wearing big stilts under the dress, which you'd think would cause her to trip up, but it's under control. She introduces herself with a Mr. Smith impersonation, going all, "It's the smell. Smelly, greedy, poopy pants humans, always for the greed and the deserving to die, and etc., etc." And Pajama Sam's all like, "Whoa, whoa, lady, you can insult humans, but their pants? I am gonna kick your ass." But then, of course, she pulls out the Force Lightning and steals Pajama Sam's magic monster coins. They're his source of power, remember, so he changes back. Via cutaway, since they don't have a real movie budget. Speaking of another cutaway, and Pajama Sam and friends are kicked out of the forest. Which is weird, because they were in the thick of it, which means they were tossed like half a mile and they barely tumble, but I guess Poofy Orange Dress Lady is just that big a threat. Mr. Handman asks who the hell that Poofy Orange Dress Lady was, which gets me to wondering what I should call her. Well, Shard Mask and Poofy Orange Dress, you might think the artist formerly known as the artist formerly known as Prince. But she also has an evil scepter and robotic claw hand. So I'm gonna go with Hillary on this one. We get an inside shot of Hillary's castle, wherein Uncle Scrooge and his secretary are now standing on one of those disappearing platforms from Mega Man. I guess they're to bear witness to the end of the world as the only important looking people of the group who resurrected Hillary. That doesn't faze Uncle Scrooge at all though. He's all like, wait, I can't do an Uncle Scrooge for... go-to Scottish guy. He's all like, "Happy birthday, Hillary. Yes, I know, it's not actually your birthday. You were snapped out of a crazy magical coma. But I'm obsessed with birthdays as a character trait." Hillary responds for some reason by explaining that she wants to end the world. It plays out like, "I'm going to destroy the world." Well, duh. Back to Pajama Sam, cause tonight I can't keep that voice up. He's flipping a TV past some channel showing some stupid drama that was cancelled like 9 years ago. Sadly, a whiny brat was at the scene of the fight earlier, and Hillary's his mom, so he's whining about it to Pajama Sam. Luckily, Iron Man cuts the scene short with a book of exposition explaining that Hillary is really one of the freaky masked alchemists who made the magic monster coins from the show for shits and giggles a few hundred years ago. Mr. Handman senses stuff going down outside, so everyone goes to check it out. Apparently Hillary has summoned pink-haired cosplayers to seduce the people of Japan into getting a top-knot haircut for money. Again, if I was trying to be funny, I'd lose you some other way. Back at Hillary's castle, Uncle Scrooge deduces Hillary's master plan. See, by giving people money in exchange for giving them a haircut, human greed begins to manifest itself in coin form, which of course causes the local area to raise up and flip over like that forest in Thuringen, thus ending the world one populated half-mile radius at a time. Except instead of switching places with some random part of Germany, the flip-over Pog City takes the place of some random area and some random time in the past, for some reason. Luckily, Pajama Sam and Mr. Handman are among the first to be trapped in the past, else they'd miss the hilarious misunderstandings to follow. See, past people be all like, "Cars and stuff? You must be demons!" While present people are all like, "Past people? Oh man, it must be Monday!" Sam chills everyone out by saying, "Chill out, everybody. We're all humans here. Except Mr. Handman, he's basically a demon, but, you know, he's with me, so he's cool." And then, of course, a monster pops up, beats up Mr. Handman, and takes the rest of his greedly coins of power. Except for the last one, because taking that would sorta kill Mr. Handman, and that wouldn't be nice. The past people take the monster fight surprisingly well, sorting that Pajama Sam's probably a good guy since he got beaten up by the bad guy. But back to the future, dinosaurs are attacking people in the city of Thuringen 2, or wherever the hell other things are happening. You see, the dinosaurs are there because the evil castle and massive areas of land raising up and flipping over, it just isn't enough to deter people in the area from going about their lives as usual. They need crappy-looking dinosaurs. Later, in the past, Hillary's son is crying into his mother's purse. Pajama Sam tells him to man up, or more accurately, lets him mope for 5 minutes. Then they go and hold hands by the lake on Naboo, or some bridge somewhere. And it all goes nowhere. Meanwhile, in the future, the show's actual villains, those coiny greed I mentioned, are having a conference to discuss whether they should participate in the film. The thought of that happening so disturbs our heroes that Pajama Sam and Mr. Handman spring into actually doing something.